Totes Recall.
Welcome to TotesRecall.com, the podcast where we talk about a movie we can't hardly remember, and then we pause the recording and eat 2 pizzas and 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. Watching the movie that we just discussed. Come back, second half of the record. Now, we've just seen the movie, and we know about it. This is slightly better than average. Now it's worse. Let's give it that sigh. That's the show. Figure it out. My name is Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this very special episode.
Oh, what's special about it?
It's Respect Listener Opinions Month. And I'm glad you asked. A month in which the movie was picked by you, the listener, if you voted. And that movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yay.
Wow.
Scott Pilgrim versus the world. Here comes Scott. Here comes the world. Who's going to win?
Okay. Keep going.
I don't know.
That's
the end.
That's good.
I don't know.
That's the end. It's a very short song.
Yeah.
This is in contention for newest movie we watched, isn't it?
Oh, is that true?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, when did this come out?
This feels like a
2004?
20...
07?
Oh, maybe not. I always think of Total Recall 2012 as our newest movie. I don't know if that's even true anymore, but this feels like around that.
When did Frozen come out?
We watched Frozen?
Yeah, I think that's the newest one.
Yeah, we sure did.
We did.
For one of our romantic movie
Okay,
months.
that's way newer. I take it all back.
Okay.
I'm going to say 2015.
What?
Way too late.
I'm going to
That's
say.
okay. I'm going to go with 2004.
I'm going to say 2010.
I'll say 2009. Did somebody
Right.
say that already?
No, I love this spread.
Here's the
Great.
problem. Here's the problem I'm running into. I have no concept of how old Michael Cera is at any moment in his career.
Never.
Like
right?
at
Completely
any
fair.
moment in his career. Sometimes he plays
He's-
children. Sometimes he
yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't look that different regardless. Except
Kinda looks
lately
like
he grows
an
a
old
beard.
child now.
Yeah, he usually has a beard now, which is like just to make it clear, like I am an adult man now.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I was always a Michael Cera fan, and then I started watching him in Life and Beth on a particular streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
And that show is so good, in large part because of his performance. And then I went down this whole rabbit hole and was like, this guy is incredible. Like the whole time he was in the Barbie movie, he played
Alan.
Alan. Oh, P.S. Sorry, detour. He had a baby. I thought that was so interesting.
Wow, he's
that
a
3
child.
months. He has a baby, yeah. And apparently he didn't want to. He doesn't talk about it publicly, but Amy Schumer outed him because she thought it was so cool that he also had a kid, so he understands that, you know, what that's like in an early couple. Because spoiler alert, there's a baby in season 2. But anyway, all this to say, when he was on Barbie,
Yes.
I watched a lot of the background content, and almost all of the actors were like, Michael Cera is so good. He is given so little to work with. And he just really, like every single one was like this weird kind of like genuine compliment, but also he had like no lines.
Yeah. True. It's true.
The through line of all of the compliments. I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, I think he's amazing. I feel like I'm not going to enjoy the content of this movie that much, but I think he's great.
Can I ask a follow-up on that detour?
Yeah.
Who's the baby's mother?
Amy Schumer.
No.
In the show or in real life?
Oh, in real life. Oh, in real life, he's married to a real person.
Not Amy Schumer.
Wow.
Amy Schumer's a fake person? Is that what you're saying,
No.
Molly?
No,
you
I'm
just
She's
not
like a
said
saying.
you
raunchy
asked.
woman?
No.
Wow,
Okay.
Molly.
No,
Wow.
sir.
Wow.
No. No, I think she is adjacent to, but outside of show business.
Got it.
Great.
And is rarely photographed, and they have a very private life.
Love it.
Nice.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Dan's bet, this movie is going to have a who's who of people who are more famous now.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Like every single character in this movie is probably an actor who has gone on to bigger things.
Who? Like who? I can't think of anybody except Michael Cera.
Jesus, do you really want me to go down the list, or do you want to discover it for yourself?
Well, let's talk about what happens in the movie, and
Okay.
then maybe we can work through the people that show up.
Ooh,
Okay.
I have a personal connection I would like to share.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Jeremy
Don't dox him.
recommended and/or gave me these comics before the movie ever came out because he thought I would like them as someone who briefly played the bass and was kind of a sad indie boy,
Yeah, totally.
which is kind of the comics. And he was right. I enjoyed them quite a bit.
I also
think I read
enjoyed
them
them.
all.
Oh,
I have them all
yeah.
if you didn't. If you suddenly realize you never read the end of it.
I would
Yeah.
read them.
Is this pretty true to the comics?
Yes. Mostly,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's like having to fight a succession of bad guys leading up to the boss level in
Yes.
order to free his girlfriend or to get away from his ex-girlfriend, or what is the
So on the basic like goofy premise on the surface is in order to actually date Ramona, he has to
Oh,
battle
yes.
and battle and succeed against her evil ex-boyfriends.
Oh, yeah.
Exes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. But like almost all of her exes are famous people.
Yes.
Oh,
So
really?
we've got Chris Evans.
Oh.
He's
Oh,
on a
wow.
skateboard. He's an actor or something.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Captain America, Chris Evans.
Mhm.
Captain America.
Wow.
I can't remember if he's wearing a sweater or not.
I feel like he's wearing a
sweater.
jacket in this one. I feel like he's got
Yeah,
a
that
jacket
seems
instead
right.
of a sweater in this one.
We've got. I can think of the face of another guy who's like a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, fun.
In the movie or IRL?
I don't know if he is IRL, but he
Yeah.
definitely is in. Like he's got like superpowers because he's vegan.
Yeah, I mean, they all have some superpowers in the sense that no one, like everyone has special effects surrounding them whenever they are doing something exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The style of this movie is sort of like an 8-bit
The
video
point?
game.
Kind of the point of
Yeah,
the movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's very stylistic,
It's, yeah.
and it's also like all based around music because
Yes.
they're in a band, and so there's a lot of kind of like battle of the bands kind of things happening.
Beth, how recently have you seen this movie?
I probably saw it within the last few years. For like, I can't remember the first time I saw it. The first time I saw it was probably around when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely saw this in theaters.
Ooh,
I remember
braggy.
that. Well, I used to go see a lot of movies.
Wow.
That's why I can't remember any of them.
Oh, sure.
There's too many.
Yep.
Yep.
May Whitman, is that her name?
Yep.
Egg?
Who's that?
Her?
Egg?
Yeah.
She in
Yep.
this?
Yep.
Eggs
We
in it.
plant egg.
Trying to think. And then the ultimate like boyfriend that he has to battle is Jason Schwartzman.
Yes.
Oh,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
This is I think Molly briefly mentioned it before. I'm also concerned about the content of this movie in that it's like
Speak on it.
he's got to fight to win a woman.
Right.
Yeah. It's
But,
like
like,
very comic book. Yeah.
Maybe it is self-aware of that aspect being sort of problematic.
Yeah. I mean,
And Ramona's like chill about it. Like she's not actually in danger or
No.
anything.
no. Like, if anything, Ramona is like one of the more competent people in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like she's always kind of like rolling her eyes. She's like, yeah, you have to like fight my exes or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very. I don't know how well the movie is just like focused a lot on like just like the silliness of it, and I don't know how much time it has to really like dig into like the underlying metaphors of all of this kooky comic book shit, right? Because like in the comics, it digs into it a little more, where Jason Schwartzman's character is sort of like he's the one who's like setting, like he's the reason that these battles take place. It's like he is like because that's why he's like the final boss. And like it's sort of made very clear that it's kind of like analogous to having like a very not necessarily abusive ex-boyfriend, but just someone who's just like too, like has zero boundaries, right? And it's like too much still in her life, and is like won't leave, just won't let her, like leave her alone and like move on with his life enough, and is like always getting in the way of her like continuing to have any other relationships.
Is it at all metaphorical for like processing a romantic partner's background?
Yes.
And like feelings of inadequacy for being,
I think so.
Maybe less experienced in love.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the whole, like their whole relationship, Scott and Ramona's whole relationship is like Ramona is so cool and Scott is so desperate to be with somebody that cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm mostly concerned just with the way movies work, because like in the books, you have a lot of time to like really hammer into the fact that Scott sucks. Right? Like the books can like really take its time and be like, oh no, Scott sucks. Like he's not necessarily like intentionally being a shitty dude, but he's just, he's a young 20-something who's like very self-absorbed and dumb, and he ends up being really shitty to a lot of people. And the books really get into that. And I feel like in the movie they can only like, just like quickly just kiss it a little bit, right?
Yeah, I don't remember connecting to really any part of this movie except feeling like I should go see it because everybody went to go see it, which is fine. And I remember, it felt a lot like, okay, let's hurry up with the relationship, get into the premise. And then I find premise of increasing battles like so tedious. Just no matter, like Kill Bill or, what's the other one I was thinking about? Anyway, anything that's like that.
Game of Death.
Yeah, I'm just exhausted and I just don't care. It's like just knowing that, like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like basketball games should just be 5 minutes because most of them are decided in the last 5 minutes. Let's just,
How do you feel about that, Dan?
I get why it's not.
I kind of get it, actually.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit down and watch a whole basketball game and I'm like, okay, that's fun. But the last 15 minutes, as long as they're not spending the last 3 just fouling each other over and over for free throws, which is terrible. And I understand the strategy. Don't talk to me, sports people.
Don't talk to me.
It's boring to watch. I think everybody feels that way. No one loves it.
Yeah.
But it is like the last excited, like, ooh, who's going to get that final edge?
So anyway, I'm just saying it's kind of intrinsic to me to be impatient. I don't know that the movie did anything wrong. Is there any way at all it passes the Bechdel Wallace?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there is a possibility.
There's a few ladies who aren't Ramona in it that are pretty prominent.
The drummer in their band.
Yeah,
she's so
lady
cool.
band.
She's awesome. And then, Ramona has one of her exes is a woman.
Yes, and cool. Scott's ex is in it too. Or a couple of Scott's exes are in the movie
too. So that's, to me, that's the thing. Having seen it more recently, that was the thing that I felt the most awkward about. Is I think she's pretty young.
One of them.
Like his one of his girlfriends is pretty young, and he's like supposed to be like in his 20s, and she's maybe like 17 or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I mean,
wait, is she like frozen in time as the age they were when they were dating?
No.
I agree with Beth. I feel like I remember that from the books too. Like she was like 17. He's
and that was one of the and that was one of the things that's like Scott sucks because like even his friends are like, you probably shouldn't be dating a high schooler, right? Like they're like, that's, like even they are like telling him, he's like, you're getting you're getting older now. You probably should stop dating a high schooler.
And he's such a dick to her. Like he's just so rude to her.
Yeah,
they're Canadian too. We should say.
Yes, we should make it very clear. This all takes place in Canada.
Oh,
does that make you feel better?
Yeah, now I get it.
Okay. Toronto?
I think it's Tirana. I think it's Tirana. Yeah.
But I think the thing for me that I really, I think that I like this movie.
I'm pretty sure I like this movie. I liked it when I saw it once years ago.
Yeah, the style of it is so cool,
Yeah.
and the I really loved the music and how that's incorporated into it. It's just like, it's just a very interestingly made movie. I think.
Totally. Yeah, like he tried to like I think capture the sort of, because like the comic is essentially supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like really like crazy ass manga, but it's about just like some Canadian loser, right? He was just like dealing with his being a 20-year-old dummy. But it's like it's very stylized to be like a manga where like, there's like giant text whenever something, dramatic happens or whatever. And like they're doing like crazy fight moves and stuff. And I think he tried to sort of do that in this, but a little more. Yeah, I don't know. I think he finds a good balance between like trying to still stick true to its comic roots, but like, like Beth said, like maybe focus more on the fact that this is like a moving picture with music under it and like kind of hybridizes those styles a little more.
Yeah. Who's the
fun.
Director? It's
Edgar Wright.
Is it Edgar Wright? Okay. I don't remember if that was right.
He does his British comedy movies.
Yes, of Shaun of the Dead and
Hot
others.
Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. End of the whatever the third one is called.
This is the end?
No, that's the other one.
Oh, that's the pub.
World's
End of the World.
World's End.
World's End. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
That's
pretty
fun.
good.
Fun.
That one is also fun.
Well, it's been ages since I've seen this one. It'll be interesting to watch it again.
Do we think there are any like actual adult coded adults in this movie? Because like most of the characters are in their 20s, but they all act like teenagers. They're all dummies, except for Ramona mostly.
I don't remember there being any adults.
Doesn't Scott have an
I
older
know-
sister?
He has a sister,
Uh-huh.
Anna Kendrick,
I think so.
Oh.
maybe, or is that a different? Okay, and
She's
then
in
he
it.
has a roommate,
Statcast.
who is a Culkin. Is it the Culkin that's super
I
famous
saw
now?
that in a GIF today. It's Succession Culkin.
There is a Culkin.
Kieran?
yes.
Kieran?
Yeah.
Have I told you my one McCulkin story?
McCulkin story?
I've got just one. And
What's
it's
a
not even
McCulkin
me,
story?
But I think it's so funny. A story about spotting a McCulkin.
Okay. And this is
Yeah.
this is the famous family, the McCulkins.
Yes.
The McCulkins.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Macaulay, Kieran, and so on.
The
Yep.
McCulkin clan.
Macaulay McCulkin.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
Macaulay McCulkin. I think his name is full name.
Yeah.
My friend's husband was at a show, and you know how you stand and watch a show.
Like
and
a
out of the corner of
like a
his
music
eye-
show?
A music show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the bands playing. Out of the corner of his eye, he was like, I really think that's a McCulkin. And he wasn't sure if it was Kieran. It was Kieran McCulkin, but he wasn't sure. But he decided to subtly look. Now, the way his wife tells it is this guy does not have any subtlety in him. He thinks he's subtle, but like when he whispers, he's just talking.
Yeah.
Like, this is just not a thing.
Yeah.
So he sneaks very coolly a look. And actually, I realize this is a terrible story for a podcast, but you can play along at home and just make the most sarcastic reaction facial and imagine yourself as a McCulkin because he like peeked over at him, and instead of like being ignored, the guy just did like a
Like he
shook his head, like absolutely made fun of him silently by showing him what his face looked like, trying to subtly check him out. It was
Nice.
very funny.
Molly, I have two pieces of information for you.
2 follow-ups.
Great.
Yeah.
One,
Great.
I've heard this story before.
Oh no!
Two,
On pod?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
No, probably not. This is the first time I ever tried to do it in an audio form, and it's silly.
Sure.
Two, their last name is Culkin.
Oh,
Dan and I tried to convey that with
Macaulay
aggressive razzing.
you were aggressively razzing in a confusing way.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like typically, and I, in my defense, typically the way Dan mostly, but also Dan sometimes likes to joke is to add so many layers
Yes.
to whatever the thing is. That's
Sure.
It's not recognizable.
Yeah, that's what I did with
So-
Macaulay McCulkin. I was adding a Mick before Collie.
Yeah.
Thinking
Yeah.
maybe that would clue you into. Doesn't
No,
that sound
why
ridiculous?
would it? No, because that sounds like Dan.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
honestly, when you said that, I started to question if it was McCulkin because I was
took
like,
me a
is
second,
it
too.
Macaulay McCulkin?
Why
good
would it be
name.
Macaulay McCulkin?
It is a good name.
It's a
Oh,
great
Kieran
name. If your last
McCulkin.
name is McCulkin, name your kid Macaulay.
Hey,
Yeah, parents,
parents,
pregnant people.
pregnant people?
The
Macaulay
first pregnant
McCulkin.
person to hear this has to name their kid Macaulay McCulkin.
Yes. It
And
doesn't
you'll
matter
just know.
what your last name is.
Yeah,
Macaulay McCulkin last name.
Oh man, Macaulay McCulkin Jones.
You get a free fruit challenge.
Ooh.
If you
if you name
send
your
us
baby
your
Macaulay
child's birth
McCulkin.
Amazing. Amazing.
I apologize to the entire Culkin family.
They're not listening.
Beth, please
don't
cut
care.
all of this out.
Something
whole
we
Pull it by the roots.
leave it in. The other thing we should leave in is the rating scale, because it's a beloved segment that we spend exactly the right amount of time on.
Yes.
Molly, what should it be for this movie? Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
X McMania.
X McMania?
X McMania.
Yeah.
Like the letter X or EX?
Oh, EX.
Okay.
X McMania.
Or you can just go with X Mania if that's simpler.
No, it's.
No.
I mean, that's the term. The term. I mean, you said that's called X McMania. Like, why would we change
Right.
it?
That's true. That's fair.
That's offensive if we took out the Mick, right?
Yeah. Obviously, I think of the McCulkins. When I think of McMania.
Yeah.
So it's probably
It's X Mania. X McMania.
Macaulay McCulkin X McMania.
so it's like a dating show where
Okay.
all previous romantic partners of the McCulkins
Oh wow.
have to compete. I presume.
Like in a trivia show or something like that?
Sure.
And it's important that it's the McCulkins and not the Culkins.
Yeah.
The McCulkins are a family that lives in Iowa, and they have about 12 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, and they've always been confused with the Culkins, but they're just leaning into it for this show.
Yeah.
How many-
It is hosted by Kieran McCulkin.
Kieran McCulkin?
Wow.
No, Macaulay Culkin's better.
Yeah. Or the other one. I'm just saying, Kieran's got checks. Kieran's got checks to cash. He doesn't need to do a game show.
I'm very proud of myself that I just pulled Rory McCulkin.
Me too.
That was
Rory.
good.
Rory McCulkin.
That's very good.
Rory McCulkin.
Is Rory the one that's also in? Is he the one who's in Home Alone, or is that Kieran?
Oh, I think that's Kieran.
I think it's Kieran.
Okay.
Are they all
what's
in it?
Rory
Maybe
in?
they're all in it.
We'll have to do some Culkin
Just do an
research.
episode of Home Alone. Good movie.
I'll have to go on McWikipedia.
Wikipedia. Okay.
That's right. We got it. Dan, you're first, as we all know.
Yes.
How
I
many
am for. Huh?
X McManias would you like to give?
I remember this movie being very fun, and it also had a bunch of cool young people in it. And yeah, just the style was so fun. I'm a little worried, like we all are, that like it might be having too much fun and doesn't spend enough time to be like, Scott sucks. Like, just a reminder, Scott sucks, and that is canon. Like, that is the entire 6th book of the comic is basically breaking down how much Scott sucks. And then he has a little redemption arc. It's fine. So yeah, I am gonna say 4 X McMania episodes, or is these contestants?
Contestants.
Okay.
Oh, wow. 4 X's on X McMania.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
we got it.
Beth, you're second, as we all know and appreciate.
It's true. Everyone appreciates that I go second.
We all do.
Yeah, I think that the first time I saw it, I was kind of wowed by it. I thought it was really, really well made. I think the second time I saw it, I was like, ooh, there's some stuff that's a little bit off about this. So I'm also going to say 4 X McManias. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll turn around, go back up to 5. We'll see.
My name is Dan, and I am third. The best time to go for a Dan.
Oh. Huh.
And I feel exactly the same as Beth. I thought it was really cool the first time I saw it, and now I'm like, I don't know. I also love Michael Cera. Shocker. It's 4.
4 for the little indie boy.
Hi, I'm Molly.
Yep.
I go 4th, and no one is offended by that.
We appreciate it so much.
Yep.
It is so appreciated. I'm gonna be uncharacteristically pessimistic and go with 2.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't remember loving it the first time, but I'm hoping the power of Michael Cera and maybe the other cast will elevate this. I'm hoping.
No respect bump, huh?
Wow.
Oh no, I forgot about our listeners. Listen, listeners,
Wow.
hang on,
Wow,
because
Molly.
you will
That was
find
not
you will
respectful.
you will definitely see some respect in the second ratings.
Wow.
So just think of how much further this will go, just on
Yes.
respect alone.
Wow. What a teaser.
Unless I hate the movie but respect you, and it'll still end up at 2.
Yeah.
We'll find out what happens.
Wow. This is incredible.
The tension is unbearable.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and we'll be right back. Hey, listeners, you have reached the middle point, which is actually the first third point of the podcast, where we remind you that a thing called Patreon exists. And because Patreon exists, we exist. There is no way to keep doing a podcast for 10 years, no matter how nice your basement is, without a little bit of financial support, especially to pay our editor. So if you appreciate the lack of awkward silences that don't pay off, and you appreciate the sound quality, which we do not deserve, please pay money so that Beth K. Gibbs can continue to be our co-host.
Beth Pay Gibbs. Is that something?
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, if you don't want this podcast to sound like utter garbage, please go to patreon.com/TotesRecall and contribute to our Pay Gibbs
.com.
fund.
What's fun is you're also making memories, because
It's true.
depending on what tier you sign up for, like for example, there's the Dan's Eat Fruit tier.
Yes, there
And
is.
because
Fruit
there are
season
still
is
5
here.
left.
That's true.
Just 2 days ago, I was chopping up a pineapple, and I thought, wow, this reminds me of watching the 2 Dans square off eating pineapple together, and it brought me joy in the middle of a hectic afternoon. That could be your life.
Yes.
For as little as $1 a month. And then you get to also chat with us on Discord and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can find out which host, it's me, who doesn't post for a long time and then posts too much.
Yeah.
You could experience that.
Yeah.
At any rate, we appreciate the help of all of our patrons. We appreciate you, listener, whether you're a patron or not. But also, if you're thinking about it, let's pull the trigger, baby.
Yeah, pull the trigger on that
Dan,
money gun.
Okay, so Dan's going to add an extraneous.com here, but I'm just trusting you to understand that you go to patreon.com/TotesRecall. Wow, Dan. Wow. Beth,
Nailed it, Molly.
Can you put back in?
You nailed it.
Nailed it.
Well
nailed
done.
It. Well done.
.com.
And now back to our show. And we're back. We just watched 1 hour and 52 minutes of a game and a comic book and a movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. I accept that.
I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. There's not like a lot of opinion in there, but I'm saving it for the cast.
Wow.
Yeah.
The movie portion of this came out in 2010, if I read my screen right,
You did. You did.
which Dan
Because
guessed.
that means.
Yeah. Ooh,
Nice.
ooh.
Oh, this whole time I was like, Beth won, but you were 2009.
She was very close. I was way off.
Yeah.
2015. I
Yeah.
was 22 years old.
Mm.
This movie was the target demographic in so many ways. I was like,
Little
oh,
indie boy.
here's a little indie boy, loves video games, has struggles with his emotional intelligence, loves Arrested Development. Yeah,
Yeah.
loves threadless
amazing.
tees.
Mhm.
Is that a
Plotted.
brand or a style?
Wait, how old did you say you were?
22, is that wrong?
That can't be right.
32?
I was
Can't
20.
be right.
Was I 32? No.
You're
No.
not
Yeah,
that much
I was
older
in my
than me.
30s.
Was this movie
It was 14 years ago.
When did you?
28.
Wow.
There you go. You did
I
it.
got there, 35.
Did you think you were 22 because there's a joke in the movie where someone's like, "What are you, Scott? Like 28 now?" And he's like, "I'm 22."
Well, maybe. I should have
Oh.
been. If this movie was released I guess I was a target demo for the comic, which is probably about then.
Yeah.
And it takes place. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't either.
Well, I know where we like to go to get awards.
Oh, fair enough.
Nice.
And where's that?
Tell me.
That is an award-winning. Oh my gosh, there are like 4 or 5 just jammed into my mailbox today.
Oh, they're sending them to you now?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, they're like
impressive.
It's because
Yeah.
Beth's box was totally full.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
have
like
any
you-
more room
I see.
for all
we
the
got
awards that we have.
PO box and it filled up and we got kicked out. And so now they're sending it to my house and soon they'll be sending it to yours. But anyway, we got like at least 4 or 5 awards from and it's for the segment we like to call 60-second summary or 6-sec sum. And famously, Dan offers
All of this.
This
to
is
summarize. And I offered a time, and everyone shouts me down, and Dan Linden times it, and usually we make Beth do it.
Great. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that is
good.
100% Utah.
Yeah,
100% you
yeah. The only rule is you have to start with
Hold on.
we
Molly,
open
I
on.
just got an award in my house for
No
best
way.
less than 60-second summary of 60-second summary.
How dare you?
Wow.
Wow.
I'll happily do this one.
Okay.
It's Freaky Friday Totes Recall Edition.
That's right.
Okay, so you are offering for real.
For real. I don't think I actually don't
Okay.
think I've done it in a couple.
I don't think you have either.
I think it's totally
He's
fair.
right.
Beth, is that okay with you?
I approve this message.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Great.
mean, Beth never done it, and we want to keep it that way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Are you ready, Dan?
10 seconds.
Shut up, Molly.
No, but I never.
50.
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Go.
We open on Toronto, and Michael Cera is Scott Pilgrim, and he's dating a high school kid, and his friends think that's not cool. And then he's not super good, but he's not super bad either. He's got a roommate, and he's in a band. And eventually he sees a girl in his dreams, and then also in life. She's a dream girl, and her name's Ramona. And she likes him, and we don't know why ever. And then
30 seconds.
He has to fight her evil exes, which is maybe a metaphor for coming to terms with people's past. And he fights them all and learns that he should be nicer, and he's okay guy, and how to love. And then
10 seconds.
in the end, there's a big battle. And his high school girlfriend probably has more growth than him, but he still ends up with Ramona and they try again.
Yay. Very solid.
Very.
100% Utah.
It's Battle of the Bands.
You know, hearing that question, because I know we were posing it during the movie, it's like, why would she be into him?
Yeah.
The only real clue we get is that he is literally the nicest person she's dated,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is so sad. And he actually says that at one point. He goes, that's so sad.
Yeah.
So I guess we're just led to believe she's a super cool girl with bad taste in guys.
Yeah.
And so he's like part of her arc
Right.
towards making different choices, but he's definitely going to be in that ex-boyfriend club, right? I mean, that's not going anywhere.
Maybe.
I mean, they.
Maybe like a year.
Oh, yeah, they'll
year
probably
or
date
two.
for a while longer than any of her other relationships.
Yeah.
Except maybe
And
Chrissy.
they're also like they're in their early 20s. Like I feel like there's a lot of growth that happens in your 20s
That's
to
true.
30s.
Yeah.
So-
That's real.
Yeah. If he can get it together, they can grow together, maybe.
Yeah, which like it's implied at the end that like maybe they're at the same pace by the end of the movie, and they might be able to mature at the same time. But it's also possible that Ramona will just like shoot right past him and be like, all right, man, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's real. And I know we try to go in order of the movie a little bit, but I do want to talk about the ending first.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
I know, wild.
Mm.
So they were filming this movie over a long period of time. There was a lot of plans that were put in place, and the comic book wasn't done yet.
Oh.
So I guess there's 6 or 7 volumes or something. And so they weren't exactly sure. And in the original ending, he and Knives do get together. That's the high school 17-year-old. But then in the ending they went with, he and Ramona try again. And I think the ending almost sticks the landing, but what I just really needed Knives to say to him, she says, I'm probably cooler than you anyway.
Yeah.
I wish if they had just made that, I am definitely too cool for you. Like, I think that would have been in keeping and really nailed it just a little bit more for me in terms of like, what is happening? Like, like, I don't know. Because Scott, to your point earlier, also Dan, like, Scott Pilgrim is not great.
Yeah.
He is not a great guy. And he literally apparently doesn't own anything in the apartment.
I think he owned clothes on the floor and a jacket that wasn't as nice as Wallace's.
Yeah.
I believe that was
pretty
the
good.
inventory that was shown on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just, he's got a ways
But
to
Knives
go.
is nice. So like when she says
Yeah.
that, she meant it the way you wanted her to say it.
I guess
right?
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's like the
Yeah.
nicest person in the movie,
She is.
despite being a firebrand of a teen. I loved her. I loved the scene where she's just like going through just like emotional turmoil while her best friend is just like trying to keep up with her. That was so fun because the friend is just sort of like, what? Okay, what are you gonna do? Like she's already so over the Scott Pilgrim drama, but she's like, I mean, who else is she gonna talk to? I guess I'll.
Yeah, great. Well, should we go through our bets?
Sure. I didn't really write them down.
That's fine.
I
I mean, it's only Respect Listener Opinion Month, so we might as well not try at all, right?
This is what I wrote down. There'd be a lot of up and comers in this movie.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Holy
Lord,
cow.
stacked cast.
Yeah, even more stacked than we guessed.
Yes.
Chris Evans was our first guest. He is there. He's great.
He's
He
so
plays
good.
action star skate.
He's
man.
such a
I
beautiful meathead. I laughed so much.
love him
his
in this
scene.
movie.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
His
I-
eyebrows are incredible, first of all.
The way his voice, the way that he talks, it's like, oh,
Yeah, like he's never not in action movie
kinda-
mode.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved when he's like, I love his line delivery where he like just beats Scott down almost immediately. And then he just like sidles out to Ramona and in the same voice, just like, hey, how's it going? He seems nice. And then just, like he's not emotionally invested in this at all.
Yeah, I was really enjoyed while his stunt doubles are beating up Scott. And
Yeah.
it's like, I'll get some coffee. You guys want anything?
Yeah.
Like,
What did he say? He had the amazing line where he's just like, sometimes I let them do the wide shots when I just want to blaze in my winning.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
That was so
good.
good.
That might be the line of the
That-
movie for me.
That was one of the
Jesus
top. That was a
Christ.
top one for me. Yeah, and those were his real stunt people.
Nice.
oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
That is
It
cool.
was kind of fun.
That seems
Yeah.
like too many, though.
I mean,
He's in a lot of movies.
People have
Was he at
different
this
skill
point?
sets, man.
I feel.
No, I don't know. Well, at
I
least some of them
know.
were.
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe not all of them, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I bet the main
Certainly
guy
the
was.
two guys
Yeah,
in front.
for sure.
Come on.
For sure.
Sure.
That was he was great, and I know it was in the like. Honestly, I haven't watched a movie where I just really wanted to read the script more than this one. But there's a great moment where Chris Evans' character is in the movie, and he
Oh
dials
my god.
on a payphone using the gun.
Yes. Oh.
It is like
perfect.
It's paced so beautifully, and it's so over the top.
There's this like beautiful close up of him dialing 555 with the barrel of a handgun. And then after he gets his stupid line, he then violently hangs up by hitting the receiver with the butt of the gun. Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
It's incredible.
And it was on
There were
Spike
so-
TV, which is just absolutely perfect.
There
Yeah.
were so many physical gags
Yes.
that were so incredible. I know we called out during the movie, and I just have to bring up Michael Cera washing his hands.
It really got me.
Wait, remind me of when that happened. Which part was that?
I think
He's
just in the. Sorry, Molly, you were going to say.
he pees as an escape, right?
Oh, yes.
For any difficult
Yes.
situation, he'll be like, "I've got to go pee from boredom. I gotta go," like whatever. So there's a lot of him just going and peeing.
Right.
And this one, you think the gag is that it's there's nothing major happening on, but you think the gag is going to be the pee meter, like game meter. And it is, but then like as he leaves, he kind of like, it's almost like he has no life in his body. And he kind of rinses his hands and then gently touches like every towel.
2 towels, like both a hand towel and like a bath towel at the back of the door. Just like
so
slaps them almost.
uncommitted.
But yeah, just like this really. I love Michael Cera. This I always do, like Molly was saying. But yeah, he's perfect cast for this movie. But just like the level of like always anxious.
Yeah, like always
and like can't navigate his own emotions either, and just like they come out in this physicality that's so good.
He just like
exhausted,
can't get his shit together, like at any level.
Yeah,
at any level, even apparently the washing of hands.
Yeah.
Even like deciding on which towel to use or fully committing to drying his hands, like neither of those things happens. He just like, I was thinking about how iconic his body is in this movie. I'm not trying to be weird about Michael Cera.
Yeah, we all know what you're saying, Mom.
But yeah.
Just that straight tube of a man. Yummy.
But like,
speaking as a straight tube man myself, I think I can say that.
But like, yeah, just even like the shape of his body and the shape of his jeans and how he embodies this character is so incredible and works so well with the martial arts elements and the stunts elements.
Yeah, like the volume of his hair in comparison to like the rest of his just tiny pathetic frame is so perfect.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I forgot about that bit that every time somebody mentions his hair, he has a hat on and it cuts back to him. It's so good.
And it's like the perfect hat where it's just one of those like floppy eared like caps. Oh. Yeah, everybody. I will go so far as to say that everybody was great at the part they were cast in this movie.
Yeah.
Like every person that showed up, I'm just like, they are nailing this.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're perfect.
And like consistently as well. I mean, this movie has a very specific style.
Yes.
And that I think is executed, and everybody seems to understand it. Like a lot of times you see in a very stylized movie, someone doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And they're doing like just a normal movie thing, and you're like, oh, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody understands.
Crushed it.
It's
yeah, like
it's
everybody.
In theory, Edgar Wright is a good director at movies like this.
Sure
right?
seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the other ones don't that I've seen aren't as stylish.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I love it's so funny because a lot of movies, you imagine like, okay, you're just like, you're hanging out inside the green cube or whatever. Right. And there's like one prop and maybe like a wall. And I feel like with this movie, like it's probably a lot of practical sets, but then Edgar Wright had to be like, okay, so there's going to be a bunch of letters flying off of you in this scene. So just like, bring that energy, bring the level of energy that you would if you were firing letters off of your body.
Right. I mean, you really would have to convey what it will look like.
Yeah.
Because like there's just no way that you could picture that without being like, okay, here's what's in my mind.
Do you think
so please act this way?
Do you think like when Lucas Lee, is grinding down that massive staircase that like Edgar Wright actually just had like a speedometer like in front of him? So like he could see, Chris Evans could see like, this is how fast you're going now.
Yeah. I mean, it must be something like that, right?
Yeah.
Now you're at 200 miles per hour.
Ugh.
That's incredible. Yeah, they all had to train so hard for it too, right? Because they all had to learn a lot of those moves, and they all had to learn to play instruments, like the specific instrument they were cast in. Michael Cera, of course, is already a accomplished musician who plays piano as well as guitar and bass.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You're a bigger Michael Cera fan than I thought you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
It's just information.
You know
that
all
lives
these
in your
fun
head.
facts about like a blog, like a
fan
fan blog.
Tumblr.
Oh, fan Tumblr.
Actually, my one source for this movie is Wikipedia.
Oh, no.
This is Wikipedia.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Great. Perfect.
Speaking of countdowns,
Yes.
I love Kim, the drummer, so much. She's like,
She's the best.
she has the perfect, just withering glare. She's always calling Scott out on his shit, like in every scene. but she's still, I don't know. I like how she is like, she's not a jerk, right? Like she's not played like, oh, what a bitch. It's like, no, she knows Scott and knows he's a dumbass and will not let it slide at any moment. And I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
She's
great.
really good.
Yeah.
I also love Aubrey Plaza was in the movie.
Oh, so good.
I
Julie.
forgot that she was in it. I love that character that she plays.
Yes.
Her just like her eyes get so big. Like it just is so scary looking.
Yeah. Her aggressively cursing at Scott at the coffee shop was a lot of fun.
So
Yeah.
good.
How do you
And I
do that
love
with
that
your
she
mouth?
just has different jobs. Like
Yeah.
she has a job at every location that they're at.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. But yeah.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah.
So good. And a lot of those locations are like peak Toronto. Like
Oh, yeah?
Pizza is like an institution there.
Oh,
Nice.
They
that's
tried to really ground the movie in Toronto because the comic is.
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, Pizza sounds like a made up pizza place that you
Yes.
would put into like a comic book inspired
Totally.
movie.
I mean, it's like the slogan of Little Caesars, right? Sort
Right.
of.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It used to be, or is it still?
it must.
I mean,
be.
now it's more hot and ready, which is very disturbing. But
That's cheap pizza.
yep.
Yeah,
Not a fan.
that's what we're gonna do.
Unless you want to sponsor us, and then
Spicy take.
hot 'em, yeah. Yum, yum.
Who else do we think was in the movie?
Kieran Culkin.
Oh,
Kieran
Wallace.
Culkin.
Kieran O'Culkin.
He is the roommate
Yes.
who I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide how I felt about how his gayness was represented.
Mm.
I was like, I mean, it's
It was very 2010.
Yeah.
It felt like he wasn't like a gay best friend prop like you see in a rom-com,
Right.
but he's sort of, and he was a very full-fledged character, but there still seemed some other sort of propishness to him as like a cool, like it's cool that he's gay.
Yeah. Which I guess is like pretty good for 2010, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, the fact that in 2010, like there's this character, he's not a stereotypical gay character,
Right.
and he's like one of the best parts of the movie, as you know, just like
Yeah.
his commentary and I don't know, like the fact that he even existed in that part is, I think, more progressive than we think it was for 2010.
Right.
But today, it's
yeah.
not maybe perfect. You know?
And I think part of it is that like it's in like for now it's sort of just like what am I trying to say? Like now if they made a movie like that today, it'd be like, oh, it's cool that nobody cared and like nobody even like it doesn't actually come up in conversation really at all. So like I feel like for 2010 it was cool that like people cared but like only in a positive way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the script just hammers it too many times,
Yeah.
right?
And that
Yeah.
might be from the book too, which is also like
Yeah.
a product of its time.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I like the way he played that
Oh
character.
my god, he's
So
funny.
fun.
Yeah, he was really funny.
He's so funny. He's such a like
And I loved how like casually seductive he was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he put almost no effort into it and people would follow him around. It was great.
Yeah, I really liked the line Anna Kendrick plays his younger sister. It's
Yeah.
unclear to me.
Yeah.
now.
Younger sister.
Okay.
She's 18.
She's 18.
I think it's
But
on
she
her name
calls
card.
him little brother at one point, which I guess is like her nickname because he's such a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a great line from her where like they're at the club watching Sex Bomb, Scott's band, play, and like she's talking to somebody and then turns back and Wallace has like casually stolen her boyfriend and they're making out and she just says, "Wallace again?" Which, like, I love the implied story there, where she just apparently just like keeps going for dudes who are still figuring themselves out, and then Wallace just comes by and
Just like, oh,
gives
Here
him
you go.
another option. Yeah.
Yeah. And like while Michael Cera always seems kind of 14, Anna Kendrick always seems kind of like 30.
Right.
Oh,
So it worked.
interesting.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what their age, like compared to comparatively, I don't know what their ages are relative to each other.
in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No
they're
way to
probably
know.
pretty close in age, right?
I didn't look that up, but I've got to assume. Hey, you want to hear something I did look up?
Yes, please. We did sing the song, so.
Yeah, you did. So Beck was a pretty big influence in a lot of this.
Okay.
And he wrote and composed all the music that was played by Sex Bomb Om.
Oh.
Sex Bob Om.
Sex Bob-Omb.
And Sex
It's
Bob
a
Om.
character from the Super Mario Brothers franchise. Don't
Oh,
worry
is
about
it really?
Yes.
Oh, I thought.
Bob-Omb.
Not the
Never
sex
mind.
part.
Bombs.
It's
I know.
not.
I was like,
They're not called
Sex
sex bombs in the Mario universe. No. Maybe in the later games. I don't know.
Yes, it's a play on Sex Bomb.
Yes.
The James.
What?
What's his name?
Oh,
cannot help you.
Jones.
What?
Right?
Tom Jones.
Tom
Is that-
Jones.
Someone's got a sex bomb.
Sex
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Bob-Omb from the Mario universe. We got there.
Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There it
We're
is.
Feed
there.
us all
That's what's
in.
important.
Make it sound like we got it right away.
Which to the source material's credit is a perfect 2010 indie rock band name.
It is.
Absolutely.
Well, and this is one that I find interesting. So the songs took 2 days to write and record. And Beck said that it needed to be underthought. They had to be funny,
Yes,
but they also wanted them to sound raw, like demos.
totally.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so
You
good.
understood
But
the
also, it's
assignment.
like, I gave 2 days to this
I mean, yeah.
for art, but I
Yeah.
gave 2 days.
it was on
I
purpose
mean,
that I
that's
did.
probably all you need for like shitty 20-something music, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Like, doing
God,
Not
and
even
the
whole
song-
songs, right?
Michael Cera sings to Ramona that he wrote for her.
Yes.
So good.
Like, there's so much in it, right? Playing guitar at her,
Yes.
and like the way he sings, but there are no words.
And you can barely hear him too. Like they even like mixed, like even the sound mix in that scene is like so bad, where like his voice is so muddled. And and they that's like such a perfect moment. She's like, oh, I'll be curious. I'll love to hear it when it's finished. And it just cuts to his face, and he's like, oh yeah.
Finished. Oh,
He does such a good job of this movie. I mean, like, I don't know. I can't get over like how everybody just like, everybody's like, here's your character, here's their deal, and everybody just nails it.
yeah.
Like Brie Larson does such a hilarious thing with her voice that I can't even fully like
It's very breathy.
describe,
Yeah.
but it's like
She
so
sounds like a
deliberate.
Yeah, she sounds like someone in a film noir.
Yeah, but
I
like,
kept
Yeah.
checking my phone. I was like, that's Brie Larson?
yeah,
Yeah, she was basically doing the Chris Evans of
Yes.
being. Yeah, it was
yeah,
incredible.
totally. Yeah, like
Yeah.
she's just like never. Yeah, like she barely has any inflection at all in her voice. She is constantly has like this like breathy like sexy baby thing going on, and it's just I don't know, it's so perfect. And then that in combination with Brandon Ruth's just like doofus.
Oh, that's who. He was the vegan?
Yeah,
Could
Brandon
not
Ruth
pull
and
that
Chris
guy's
Evans.
name.
Yeah, they were both just like they were neck and neck for like best just jacked meathead in this movie.
Yeah, he's really good too.
He's so good.
Everybody crushes. Everybody does. Like, yeah, hands down.
Oh, that reminds me of who my MVPs of the movie were, and that would be the Vegan Police,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was just Thomas Jane and an actor who I see all the goddamn time and cannot pull his name, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
But they came in and they just are so perfect. Where it's like, where he's like, he drank some half and half, and the Vegan Police burst through a wall. And he's just like, surely I get more than one strike. And then the guy just like pulls out a notepad incredibly dramatically. He's just like, December 4th, 12:27 p.m.
That guy's name is Clifton Collins Jr.
Thank you. Yes. Ugh. They were
Yeah,
so
he's
perfect.
Is he
Name
in
doesn't ring a
Westworld?
bell,
I
but
believe he's in Westworld. He pops up in stuff all the time. Yeah.
yeah.
But they
Tom
were
Jane
so
makes-
Perfect.
3 Arrested Development casts at least.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
There's,
Look at that.
Mae Whitman as well.
Oh,
Egg.
Egg. She fucking crushes it. Oh my God. She talks like she's been dubbed over in like a very, very cheaply dubbed Japanese anime. Like just like the speed at which she talks is like so equivalent of like they're just trying to fit all the dialogue into what little lip movements they have in the cartoon.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Oh,
Yeah,
She's
one of
great.
the exes.
that was also very 2010 progressive too. Like where it's like, like just watching was like Ramona could just be bi, right? But they had to like kind of like dance around it a little of just like, oh, she was just experimenting. It's just like, just have her be bi. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
no,
also very like good for them for 2010, but also like, who cares?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think that worked though as a nice joke, right? Like
Yes.
in terms of like really upsetting your ex.
Yes.
Didn't mean anything. I'm right here.
Yes.
It did give
Which
us.
then
I was
the
by curious. I'm by furious.
maybe the best
Yes.
line of the movie.
Is it
and
though?
Mae
I
Whedon
have questions.
fucking
I'm very
kills it.
happy about it.
Because I realize that part of the thing with this movie is that it's silly in parts,
Yes.
but that line is too silly for me.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Even with the way Mae's playing it?
It's just like, I think that's part of it. Is like, she's like, it's the beginning of that fight. And then all of a sudden, like, that's the line that she says.
Hell yes.
It's so stupid.
She's a lot. She's very intense, Roxy.
There were so many moments in this movie that I laughed out loud.
Same.
I think,
Yeah.
but I was just thinking about the first time that the first ex that he battles, and
Yes.
he like turns into a bunch of coins, and he just goes, "Ooh, coins!"
Yes.
Yeah.
I really liked Matthew Patel's vibe,
Yeah,
and I like how he was like it felt very real how mad he was that Scott only skimmed his email.
yes.
Wow.
He read that email like he dried his hands.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
real.
He was
just
bored.
real
He got
halfway.
bored.
Just can't engage in the world.
No, he really can't.
Bless his heart.
Bless his little heart.
Schwartzman's the other bet we
Oh yes,
haven't covered. He is in it. He's great.
he sure is.
He plays
Gideon.
like the final boss.
Yeah.
Who that again felt like very obviously we were putting a layer of like controlling man boyfriend
Yeah.
and making it sort of game focused.
Right.
And I guess I kind of appreciated it, but it felt like, ooh, we're getting a little bit of Ramona, actual
Yes.
depth to Ramona. I think it was
Right.
maybe one of my problems with this is she is pretty prop-ish in this. And like
Right.
here's like some struggle that she's having and she can overcome it, and she sort of does, but it really is more couched as Scott
Yeah.
learning self-respect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely suffers, and this is what I was kind of worried about in the first half. Like, it definitely suffers from just like the need to make a movie that's a reasonable length, because like you definitely get more depth in his. I don't remember if Envy gets a lot of backstory beyond what's in the movie, but like they really go deeper into the other women that he's dated. Like Knives gets a lot more stuff. Kim has like a whole fucking heartbreaking chapter in the book that is amazing. That is a shame that it wasn't in the movie, but I get why they had to cut it. But they like dig into more of just like, because they have like a couple of lines that sort of imply that Scott was super shitty to her.
Yeah.
But like in the book, they kind of dig into that a little more of just how like, he was shitty in like a Scott way, not like he was like a, monster, but just like it's clearly, they really hammered in like how Scott is like incapable of like actually engaging with and supporting another human being. Right. And the book kind of dives deeper into like how Kim was sort of the, maybe first victim from that side of Scott, and how she like fell for him really hard and he was incapable of doing any of that. I don't know. I remember really liking the Kim stuff is what I'm saying. So I'll probably read the books again very
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that Scott Pilgrim. He's not a bad guy. He's not a
Right.
bad guy.
He's not like malicious or like
Yeah.
hostile or
He's just like casually shitty in a very realistic way of like a
Yes.
guy who doesn't understand how to interact with other people. Like
Yes.
in a way because he didn't have to. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like now it's sort of coming to terms to a degree of like, oh, I have to be nice to people. And I think I complained about this on some other movie, but I struggle with his arc being like he realizes he cheated on to like he cheated on both Knives and Ramona is like the big realization.
Yeah.
And like that's how he beats the boss. And it's good. He should realize that. But it's just not much of a
It's a low bar.
yeah, how much of a needle push.
So I will say, I guess I'm really pushing people to read the book because like the whole like, oh, you have to fight your like the negative version of yourself.
Yeah.
Like that is like an actual protracted conflict. Like I'm sure again they had to just cut it for time, or maybe it just hadn't been written yet, like Molly was saying.
Yeah.
But like there is actually like a protracted conflict he has with his like the negative aspects of his own personality that are like fleshed out more in the book. So
it was very funny that they passed over it though. And
they're just like, oh, we're gonna get brunch.
They're gonna get pizza.
That's pretty funny.
That made me laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they had to do it, but like, yeah, in the book it does like it does a little more of what you're criticizing with Dan, where like it focuses a little more on like his own self-actualization.
Yeah.
But it's like all done in like 5 lines of dialogue in the movie, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, all of this reminds me of when I was in college in Athens, Georgia. Don't dox me. I happened to be out getting lunch.
It's weird that a Soviet state would have a city named after a Greek city.
I mean, Georgia in the United States.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. The grill is like a pretty popular standard place downtown. And I was eating there and it was like it was the very beginning of fall quarter. And there was this girl sitting with like 3 guys and they were so horrible. And I remember just being like, would it be wrong for me to just stop by and be like, just leave them. just whatever this is awful and you can do so much better. Like I wanted to, and I feel like in not that it would have made any difference. I mean, when I was like older than that, somebody was like, drop this guy. Drop him like a rock right now. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go through a torturous 2 or 3 years. Why do you bring that up? But like the whole vibe of investing a lot of time into a thing that literally cannot reciprocate,
yes.
Like does not have the life or emotional skills to even receive what you're wanting, the whole thing. But I did appreciate that roommate did try, did try.
Are you talking about your roommate or Wallace?
No, I'm sorry. I switched. I switched to Wallace.
In who?
Well, who's invested? Okay. I was saying that for me in my 20s, I made terrible choices.
Got it.
And I watched people make terrible choices. And I always fantasized about like, should I just say directly to someone, you need to move on?
Yeah.
This is awful. And then watching it in the movie where Wallace says to her, he's awful, dump him, you're better than him, right?
Immediately.
Just straightforward, right? Immediately. And I was like, oh, somebody did say that to me. Like somebody did literally say, drop that guy, drop him like a rock, drop him right now. Like that directly. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, like I couldn't, I couldn't hear that.
Yeah.
I had to go through like 2 or 3 years of really brutal, awful relationship. Mm-hmm. That like I in theory I could have avoided, but you actually can't talk to your 20-year-old self or to any other 20-year-old. Like
you can't talk to 20-year-olds. Full
what
stop.
a waste. Full stop.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Well, I feel like there's something to that, right? Like if somebody, especially when you're a teenager, like if somebody tells you, anything, you almost immediately think the opposite thing.
Right.
Or like, it's different for me. It like, it's not going to be, not going to be the same thing. So it is like, there are some things like that where I feel like it's just part of being a young person.
Yeah.
You have to kind of learn that like, oh, I do actually deserve to be with somebody better or whatever it is.
Yes. I like how they kind of touch on, like, Scott has like a little bit of self-awareness, or maybe it's just like metatextual self-awareness in the movie where like anytime someone pushes him to like do the mature thing, he's just like, but it's so hard. It's hard. Like anytime Wallace tells him to do anything responsible and mature, he's just like, just this petulant little baby.
Well, and it kind of makes me wonder, like, okay, this is a Totes Recall trademarked script idea.
Okay.
So
Okay.
don't do it. Anybody else? We'll never write this, but in case. I think it would be so interesting to do a movie where somebody gets to keep going back and trying to talk to themselves. So they try at like teens, they try early 20s, they try early 30s. Like, how old would your past self have to be before it would listen to your future self?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
whoa, man.
I would listen
30?
to my future self now.
Now I feel like I would.
Yeah.
Sure. Now you're like, please, God, tell me. Is everything okay?
Any sort of answers, please.
Is your arm, are all of your arms still real? Are you a cyborg? Did the pigs come south? Are we?
This marriage, good idea, bad idea. Need to know.
Listen, how long does this car last? Hey, come back.
Yeah.
Cisco, the sorry,
The rapper?
Cisco, the service company. No, I can't even
The
get
thong
this
song?
out.
Is the thong song back?
No,
When does the
thong song
thong
make its
song come
rounds?
back? It gets the comeback it deserves.
no, I was trying to make a stock joke.
Oh,
By Cisco or by Cisco?
Sure.
got it.
Yeah.
I bet
It's a classic stock joke.
I bet when my
Everybody
older
gets
self
it.
listens to this episode, I will laugh and laugh at that
Yeah.
joke.
Sorry, teens.
Buy some
Those are my
stocks, you
worst.
teens.
Yeah, teens.
Oh my god.
Honestly,
But hey, if
though,
you do have a
should.
kid, start at $5.29
Oh yeah, no. If
immediately,
you,
even
yeah.
if it's only
If
$1.
you
Yeah,
have like
that is-
any income whatsoever,
Invest now, compound interest.
get yourself
That
a
is
Roth.
something you can
Really
give
do that
your
math
child.
and realize how much money you can have if you're investing.
They told me in high school, I was like, I can't do that.
I
Really,
didn't know what they were
told
talking
you?
about.
Yeah, we watched the whole like Schoolhouse Rock on compound interest.
You. They didn't tell us shit.
But then it's like you don't get
There
paid
should
enough
be-
to do anything till it's too late. It's never too
Sure.
late. Invest now.
That's also true.
That's true. But like,
But
I don't
even
know.
if it's like $50 a month, that adds up.
Yeah.
That adds
But
up.
make sure
Sure
you're paying.
does.
Make sure you're putting your first $50 into totesrecall.com. Patreon.com/totesrecall. Of course.
I mean,
Compound
That's a
interest
solid
from
investment.
how much we respect you.
Listen, the
I mean-
ROI on Totes Recall is through
Those
the roof.
shirts will only increase
Yeah,
in value.
Absolutely.
They only will appreciate.
ROI stands for respect on interest.
that's right.
Yes.
Our
Yes.
bits are compounding on top of each other to the point where no one understands
Including
what we say
us.
anymore.
Including us.
We're just like a bunch of AIs generating
Oh God.
trash at each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of are.
Anyway,
At least you and I
529s.
are.
Yeah. 529s reminded me that's the one thing you can't give your child.
Yeah.
Because advice doesn't work.
Yeah.
They never take it.
Sure.
Because this is not about the movie anymore. This
Hold on. Is this
parent talk.
Dan's parent corner?
Yeah, Dan's parent corner.
Nice.
This is where I think Molly and I connect on listen back something. Totes Recall.
What?
I got lost in my own memory palace. Yeah, I feel like parenting is to the degree you're trying to give your past self advice, right? Like you see yourself in your child, and you go like, I don't want you to fuck up the same way I did. So here's some advice. Guess what?
They
They
don't.
don't want to hear it.
Not even when they're little and malleable. They're still like, no,
I got this. I'll figure it out.
I got this.
I'm just
Yeah,
hoping it rattles around there
100%.
somewhere, and then like 20 years from now, I'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I may not have the physical, emotional, or mental capability to do this thing, but I refuse to do anything but do it myself. It's that for years.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then eventually they do that, I guess, and are quiet in their rooms. Just being stubborn.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, so this movie was
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim versus the
pretty
World.
good. Yeah.
Looks cool.
Looks
As we
cool.
predicted.
Yeah.
So
I
cool.
love how they put all the overlay stuff on. It's
But I
like
love
just
how-
enough. It feels like
Yes.
these are real people living in the world, and sort of it's right between like, is this actually happening, or is this just everybody's perception, or is this just the style of the movie? And like all of those answers are yes and
Correct.
fine.
Yeah. I did appreciate when they would cut back to other characters who were reacting in shocked ways. I was like, okay, good. Yeah, I just need to get grounded on whether everybody's like, yeah, absolutely. This happens all the time, these battles.
Totally normal that they're like spin kicking somebody across the room. And, I did appreciate that. I like how, because this is like the reality they live in, like so much of the weird little graphics happen from like the most banal actions. Right? Like there were so many times where like they would just, I don't know, turn their head too fast and like it'd make a little whoosh.
Yeah.
Or like they'd make like video game noises if they like were quietly emotionally responding to things.
Yeah.
The vegan punching a hole in the wall and then casually using his hand to move a sofa full of people out of the way was like one of the greatest like physical gags in it. And it goes so fast. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. I love, what was the stupid joke? It's just like, oh, you know, you usually only use 10% of your brain. That's because the rest of the other understanding is full of curds and whey.
Curds and whey.
I really like I like how you learn after he gets de-veganed by the vegan police that like the only reason his hair could be that cool is because he had vegan psychic powers. Like he was apparently like low level holding it up with his psychic powers at all times.
Yeah.
Very cool. Loved it.
Oh, that's great.
I loved it. I love all the goofy shit that they just toss in there.
Yeah. This was our Respect Listener Opinions movie, as we all know. And
winner.
Respect.
Yay.
Whoever voted for this movie, we respect you.
We respect you the most.
We also respect you if you did not vote for this.
But we
movie.
respect you less.
Yeah.
What? No, we're just lots of respect.
We respect you less.
There's plenty to go around.
Yes,
Our
but
respect
most
is
of the
much
respect
less
is
obvious. Like some people, it's obvious we respect you because we watched the movie you picked.
we made an entire episode of the podcast about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be like, we respect you voted, but like...
Totally.
Wow.
Listen, it's like real democracy, right? Like the people who are giving you the most, right? Like doing the most for your own benefit, which is giving us a movie to watch.
Are the pharmaceutical industry?
I mean, that's one of them, sure.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
if you voted for
formed a
Scott
super
Pilgrim,
PAC yet.
That's true. Hey,
for Ralam.
Listeners, I mean, no, that was true. I was going to say Heather did for the horse movie. That was more dark money. That wasn't really.
No, that was. We don't approve.
That was, that wasn't
Even
a
though
word. Absolutely, sort of.
And what were you going to say, Dan?
What was I
really
gonna say?
feel like you on a roll.
Yep. And as part of that voting, as you will know if you voted, we asked some questions to you because we like feedback once a year. And I wanted to share some of these. In all honesty, it's always great to do these. We love hearing what you have to say because it's positive. I can't be earnest. Okay.
What are you, Scotty P?
Yeah, right. Saw a lot of myself in him in this movie. Indie boy. Okay. So first question, how did you hear about us? I'm just highlighting a few. I appreciate all the answers. If I didn't read yours, I still liked it.
We will definitely all read them ourselves in our own time. So you will be heard.
And we will be so mad at Dan for not picking yours.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll tell you that right now. I'm already furious.
No question.
I mean, I definitely picked these to make myself look better. Speaking of, first one. How did you hear about us? I know Dan Jaquette. He's a good evangelist for the show. Thank you very much.
Great.
Wow.
Great. That's great.
Did you write that one?
No, of course not.
Okay.
People, a little peek behind our curtain. Dan is an excellent bringer whenever we do shows together in that he will text the same 4 people, including me, the day before the show.
That's true.
And these usually are people who might also be in the show.
I'm off social media and I don't have many friends. All right. I Googled podcasts about Groundhog Day and you had just done that episode. Great.
Oh, wow. Very
Fun
cool.
Serendipity.
Wow. Like that must have happened before Google punched itself in the dick and ruined itself.
Yep. Friend took me to a live show, fell in love.
Oh, that's
thank you.
amazing.
How else did you hear about us? Dan Linden's butt.
Wow.
Wait,
Wait
really?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Wow. What?
Listen.
Somebody actually put that, though, is what I said.
Oh, yeah. I can think of many listeners and multiple executive producers who might have written that.
All right.
So,
And then we had a few for Good Luck High Five. Shout out to that podcast,
Nice.
the Magic Podcast, our friends do. This person said, Good Luck High Five. Also, when will Dan be back there? Great cross promotion.
Wow.
great
Can you hear
question.
that?
A lifetime ago, I did a certain lovelorn dragon.
With an egg on his head, right?
Nicol Bolas. Yeah, he's got an egg on his head. Looking for
Well-
a mate to hatch with.
Oh.
Oh.
I think I'm on a web series. What's up?
How did he sound?
Hello, it's me, Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, I'd listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they haven't had me on a long time because I haven't played Magic in like 40 years.
Well, you're not bringing in the money, baby.
But go listen to that if you like Magic. The
Yeah.
Gathering. They don't, it's not close-up Magic. They don't do any like rabbit out of the hat shit.
They've never done any close-up magic?
They should, right? I don't know.
At least once.
Yeah,
Good luck, high
Hey.
five.
I agree.
Hey.
All right.
All right.
We also asked for bits, and we got a bunch of them. Thank you for those.
Like
we are
bits
going to try
for us to do, like new bits?
No, re-explained bits that we've done to us, or at least
excellent.
identified them.
Perfect. Okay. This is very helpful.
We will go back and we're going to record some content. Trying to remember what those bits actually mean. Speaking of compounding, Bitrist.
I love it. Ugh.
That might be a name for the thing. No, salad hole.
Nope.
Check it out.
Nope. Okay.
All right. And the final question we left open-ended. Anything else you want us to know? We think you're great, which we do. Here's one. I think you are all great. You produce the most consistently hilarious podcasts I listen to, and I listen to podcasts made by professional comedians.
Hey.
So you're doing a good job. A little bit left-handed. Honestly, I should put this sentiment in a review. I never leave reviews for things because I am a consummate introvert. But at this point, I think I can overcome that to say in public that what you all make is genuinely great.
Aw.
Thank you very much. Warms my cockles.
Oh.
I thought he was. I thought that was a McCulkin thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's their cousin.
Warms McCockles.
That's their cousin. Yeah.
Warms my cockles.
Warms the cockles.
Oh,
He's,
it's me. Oh, it's me, Worms McCockles. I've just come over from Dublin. I'm ancient ancestor of your McCulkins.
Oh, Kieran, what a joy it was to see you be a piece of shit in the capitalist hellscape that is the New York City media conglomerates.
Worms McCockles.
Worms McCockles. Oh, it was such a joy to see young McCulkey hitting Daniel Stern with a paint can. Oh, many those years ago.
Home Alone. I wish the British would leave us alone. Apologies to our Irish listener. I assume we haven't gotten any more.
Or you're welcome.
Yeah. All right, here's another one.
Great.
I don't remember if I brought this up before, but hot teens funny as a risque but logical outgrowth of cool it teens just sounds jarring when one of you 35-year-olds says it out of context. That's a bit that I think could be retired. I think you're great too.
That's a great idea.
It's fair feedback.
It's fair feedback. I doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten better at mostly just yelling at teens.
Yeah, it's been a while since we really
laid into hot teens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hot teens are not teens that are attractive.
No, they're
Right.
they're running too hot.
They're running too hot, and they need to
could
cool
be
it.
attractive.
Sure, like no judgment.
But
Yeah.
not to us. We're 35
But not to
years
us.
old.
We're old.
No,
They're
they're like
children.
Matthew Patel's
Yes.
teens.
Yeah.
Who?
Like the Matthew Patel of teens. A character from the movie we just watched, Molly.
I don't remember that.
He literally
Who is
shot
that?
fireballs out of his hand.
He was the first ex.
He had to cool it.
Okay, got
You
it.
have to cool. You have to fire.
Did
Like
have to
that.
cool it.
Anyway, thank you for your
But
feedback.
that's a good point.
Yep.
Sure.
Each episode is a huge gift, and I'm so excited you're still going strong 10 years in.
Mm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is so nice.
We're going to make Molly cry here.
I think that's just her eyes. Or her
Oh,
eyes
okay,
are
that's
too.
right. She's having medical issues.
Yeah.
I am, but I am moved. And I would cry, except that my eye hurts so much. Okay, keep going.
I love the release schedule. Once a month would be all right, but too hard to keep up with. But I really love the Patreon bonus episodes being nice little surprises. Love the new rating stats on the website. I really need to sign up for the Patreon.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
But also, thank you.
Yeah, Beth did all the website work.
Yeah.
She's great too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do not want to be the New Yorker of podcasts.
What?
Because I tell you what, the New Yorker magazine, it comes once a week.
Okay.
Oh.
And at first it's fun. And then you
Yeah.
just have piles of them and they keep
Yeah,
coming. And
I've
it's
been
just,
there.
I had to call to cancel and they explained to me that I could get a huge discount if I stayed. And I was like, you have to make it stop.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't keep up. Anyway, so glad the pace is good. Thank you.
And how about those comics? Are they funny?
They are. I think they're funny. My husband does not. He's always like, I don't get what that is.
Yeah. I only read them in dentist office when I was a child.
Nice.
Precocious.
Looking for the one cartoon. Anything's
yourself
there.
All right.
Gorbachev.
Oh man, these two guys on a desert island just made a joke about New York real estate prices.
Yeah, it's like boring Far Side.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's accurate.
Did you know sorry, this is just a quick New Yorker aside. There was a show all about people who like get together and they do a rejected New Yorker cartoons night.
Nice.
And they just all share what got rejected. It just seems so great. Anyway, I'm sorry, Dan. Keep going.
You're good. I've collected random IRL encounters with 3 of the 4 hosts, mostly
Wow.
resulting in bemusement and hopefully a little amusement.
Of course.
I mostly shared this because I really wanted to know who the 3 were.
Yeah, totally.
Oh gosh. It was
Do you know who
probably
it was?
No. I mean, I
Nice.
could have looked it up, but I'm not going to
I
dox
love
them,
no, I
even
love
if
this.
I knew.
No, I love this mystery.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think-
Hold on. Let me throw this out there to this person. If and when you ever come across the 4th person, just say you're the 4th one, and it'll be such a joy.
Yep.
Such
Please
a
do.
joy.
I hope it's
Please
me.
that
do
would be great. Yeah.
I hope it's me. I just want that. I want to experience that for myself.
If it's me, I will give you a fist bump. I will offer my fist, and you can choose to bump it.
But also, I just want to make it very clear that if you have met me before and then you come across me and say you're the 4th one, and I find out that you did that just to try to amuse me,
That fist is
I
gonna be
will.
doing something else.
That's right. I will punch the highlights out of your hair,
Wow.
That's right.
like vegan Todd did Knives Chow talking about the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Sidebar.
Bringing it back.
Once again, as all movies do,
Yes.
women could only fight each other. Men
Yes.
can't fight
Yeah.
women. I don't,
Except for the loophole where the woman uses the man like a puppet because the rules dictate that she must be defeated by his own fists.
yeah. It captures my imagination. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't either. Anyway,
Unclear.
But yeah. But Knife Chow does get hit by a man.
That's
Right,
true.
it's
But like a full on fight.
Big
doesn't
moment,
happen.
right?
it is a big
Yeah.
moment. That's how you know Todd's a dick.
Yeah.
It really is.
And that's when Scott is like, "You're a dick." And they
Yeah.
fight.
And it furthers Scott's arc.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. Well, that's what women are there to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
Holy shit, did this pass the back to Wallace test? Oh my god.
I've been
Yes.
thinking about it the whole time.
Big
Did
time.
it?
Yep.
When?
Oh sure.
All the time.
That's true. Yeah.
I felt like
you're
they
right.
were always talking about Scott, though. Or
No,
some
there were
guy.
some times where it was like, wow, you're really good at drums.
Yeah.
It's really
or
cool
like
that you play
Julie and Envy
drums.
talk to each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It passes.
Okay.
Great.
Great.
At some point, you mentioned that we would win a prize for listening to all of the episodes, and I finally did that with Mr. Holland's
Ooh.
Opus.
Whoa.
This is me tweeting at you. Do I win? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll get you a prize.
It's
Sure.
this. We read your note on air.
What? No. Come
Well,
on. I'll send them a cup.
we did
or
say-
a glass or something.
On our,
Oh, did we actually say
on our
something?
100th episode,
Uh-huh.
we said if you watch all of the movies on the list and become a true cinephile like Dan and I,
That's right.
then you get a prize.
Oh,
So,
nice.
if you head to the website and you click on fun, there's a I'm a true cinephile link underneath that, and then you can
Nice.
fill that form out when you have completed that list.
That is fun.
Amazing.
Wow. Yes.
Is it 100 or 123? Did we go that deep?
It's 100. It was because we had just done 100 episodes, but now we have. I think this is 145, 146, or something like
Wow.
that. So, I mean, if you really want to be a true cinephile, you would watch 123
Then
movies.
you're going to have to build another page on the website.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Well,
That's
pretend
easy
I did.
with sponsor.
Yes.
Someone wrote more horse movies.
oh, I wonder
Who could
who
that be?
someone
Yeah.
would
Could
have
that be?
been.
Are there other horse movies,
I don't
honestly? Black Beauty.
There are
There
other-
are so many horse movies. you shut
What's
your
the one with
face,
three
Dan.
I'm
animals are trying
genuinely
to
asking.
get? There's like
Oh,
three
yeah.
animals. They're trying to get home.
One of them could be a horse, you know.
Nope.
Are they horses?
Nope. Nope.
I think they're all
Horseward
horses.
Bound?
I think it's 3. Horseward Bound is
Nope.
what it's called. Yeah.
Nope.
Thank you. By Furious.
My Friend Flicka. There's another one.
Black Beauty.
I already said that.
Yep. He already
Oh.
said it.
Spirit.
Horse Whisperer.
Spirit something. Just
I think
There are
that's
Spirit.
a
lots of them. Can we just...
War horse.
We were.
I was
of course,
genuinely asking.
Vidalgo.
What?
Vidalgo.
Wasn't there one, the Iscariot or something? Did you
Oh,
know?
Steve Biscuit.
Did you know this? This is horse info.
Steve Biscuit?
Steve Biscuit is friends. His friend, what was his name? Forrest McCulkin.
Yeah. Steve Biscuit is Warren McCulkin's manager. Oh, Steve, are you going to get me in that new Kieran McCulkin movie? Kieran said, he said he'd think about it, but
Yeah, you don't want to be accused of, nepotism.
Nepo babies.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, what distant relatives. I'm from Ireland.
I'm not even an actor. I just love the movies.
Steve Biscuit.
That is a great manager name.
It's a fantastic name. Oh,
What were we talking about?
listeners, please remind us of this bit next year.
Yeah.
Go on.
Our final comment that I'm sharing is we refer to the podcast in our house as Four Friends from Minnesota.
Nice.
Oh,
That's us. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thank you to everybody who filled out the survey. Thank you to everybody that listens. It is meaningful to have our dumb stuff amuse people. and
Enjoyed.
Be
Yeah.
enjoyed. So thank
yeah.
you.
I'm glad that other people find it as fun as we do.
Yes.
Yes, we find it fun.
Just to confirm, everybody, after 145 episodes, we do find it fun.
I love that Dan is turning into a bigger grump every episode. Yes, we found that enjoyable. Thank you for tuning in.
The content of this
Keep your radio
podcast
down.
is acceptable.
It warms my cockles.
Wow.
Steve's my biscuit.
Don't let Steve Biscuit hear. We have to pay a trademark every time we
Oh,
say the
no.
Yum yum,
name.
Steve's
Yeah, we have to
biscuit.
pay a fee,
That's
a
why it's the
royalty.
best. That's on his business card.
Yep.
Yum
Yes.
yum.
Steve-
Get in the
Yeah.
biz.
Steve
Best.
Biscuit, yum yum.
Yes.
He'll get you the biscuit. Is the
The
biscuit money?
Kit.
The biscuit.
I don't know.
Oh, Steve Biscuit's
I'm-
biz kit.
Oh, Beth.
Marketing
Bad.
genius.
Jesus Christ. That's amazing.
Our talents are wasted on a comedy podcast.
Yes.
We should be in marketing, all of us.
Steve Biscuit's Bizkit, trademarked.
Yeah.
Trademarked.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna think about that all night.
Yep.
It's a briefcase with your soul inside.
Oh, wow.
Jesus, Molly.
Biscuit's a devil?
Oh, jeez.
How does that help you with biz?
That's
I
where
thought
you
it'd
put
be
it
like-
when you do biz.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
'cause
That's
have
how you
to
get
be
to the top.
soulless, Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it should be like a briefcase with like a stapler and some like whiteboards.
Rolodex.
Multiple
Yeah.
whiteboards?
You never
You
know when
gotta
you
have
have
more
to throw
than one
together a
idea.
presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you gotta have the one that turns around so you can do a big reveal.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
And we're going to make all this money with
Yeah.
plastics.
Just like that John Hamm meme, but like the thing on the placard
That's
is like,
what the
your
money's
idea
for?
here. No, the other meme. But that one too,
Okay.
sure.
Speaking of John Hamm,
What?
he's probably on Discord. He seems like the kind of guy who'd have a
He's
Discord.
best friends with Steve Biscuit.
Oh.
Ham and biscuit.
Ham and biscuit.
Yeah, that was their duo. They were doing like a vaudeville thing when they
nice.
were kids.
That rocks.
And then Ham
Yep.
went into showbiz.
Yeah, and then Biscuit followed.
Biscuit went into biz.
Yeah.
I hate this. Now I hate this.
Okay.
Yum yum.
Yum yum.
Biscuit.
What's next?
Discord is next, a text-based chat platform where we turn to our patrons and ask them for Q's and C's. And this time I asked
Wow.
for R's.
What does R stand for?
Respects.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay.
did they know that?
I didn't explain it. I can't say whether they do it or not.
Okay, great.
So we'll see. We'll see if anybody gave us any R's. Fra first asks, a lot of actors learned how to play instruments and perform songs for this movie. Which was your favorite song?
Ooh.
I appreciated that the song that Sex Bomb is playing at the end is just they're saying no fun over and over as they're
Yes.
like corporate shills. I like
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But I
like
think I
that.
did really, I actually liked the Clash at Demon Head's song.
Yeah,
I
was
was like,
gonna
oh, this is
say that too.
legit, like
Like legit rips.
2000s indie jam.
Yeah.
It is. I looked it up because I was like, I like this song, and
Yeah.
it's a Metric song.
Oh.
So, anyways, Metric is great. Beck is
Yeah.
great. The music in this is great.
Yep. And I guess Envy was based off of the lead singer of Metric.
Oh, cool.
I have to say the song that Scott Pilgrim sings that he has written
Yeah.
for
pretty good.
Ramona is my fave.
It's pretty good.
But it's all good. And it makes me want to go back and listen to the soundtrack.
Yep. All right. The reference machine asks, hell yes,
Wow.
I love this movie. The casting is excellent. For me, this stands as one of the best book-to-screen adaptations. What are some of your favorite adaptations, and why do you think so many of them are duds?
Ooh. Great question.
What a great. I will say the show Normal People on internet Hulu. Sorry, I know, but people might actually want to find it.
Sure.
It is so good. The show is great. And then I went back and read the book, and I was like, oh no, the movie was better, or like the made for a TV
Sure.
series, whatever it was. It was great.
Cloud Atlas is one of my favorite books, and the Wachowskis made it into a movie, and I thought it was fantastic.
I think they made it into as successful of a movie adaptation of that fucking nutso book you possibly could make.
Yeah, the book's weird. It's great, though.
It's wild. Yeah.
I personally love the movie A Series of Unfortunate Events,
Never seen
which
it.
is it's got Jim Carrey playing Count Olaf, and he's so good in it. But it's actually not really a good adaptation of the books. I mean, it takes the story, but it's essentially they make a story out of the first 3 books.
Oh.
But I really, really love it. I've watched it many times.
So this is different than the one that was the TV series with Neil Patrick Harris in there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got
is.
it.
Yep.
The baby in that is priceless.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's
Most
so
incredible reaction shots I've ever seen.
cute. There's a
think
good
all
baby in
babies
the
are
movie
priceless.
too.
Oh,
Yeah, that it is.
wait, what did you say?
Dan was belittling your position.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that a lot of, I think that, I don't know. It's funny that it's like, I'm trying to think because like there are definitely some adaptations of books that are like very good adaptations of books in the sense that they have pretty accurately adapted the book.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also just kind of like, that didn't need
Yeah.
to be a movie, right?
Yeah.
And then there's other movies that are technically adaptations of books, but they're like so vastly different. And then you're like, oh, wow, it's amazing that they like polished this turd enough to make a movie that successful, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to adapt a book. There's so
Absolutely.
like I mean, as we were talking about with this movie, there's like so many details that you can get across in a book that you cannot get across in an hour. And what was it? It was like
It's 152, I think.
152. Okay, yeah. I mean, even 2 hours. That's not enough time to get everything in one thing.
Well, and especially a book like you can see exactly what everyone's thinking.
Yes,
which is really fun.
Yeah, I think it's hard to capture the breadth. Is why I think they're duds usually.
Yeah. Or
they're just so literal. Oh man, Christopher Columbus's version of the first Harry Potter movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, this is exactly like the book.
Except
to the
for
point where
not.
It helps that the book was like 80 pages long, right?
What? I guess they messed with Ron. What else? What else was different, Beth? Do you remember?
Yeah, the entire all of the things. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that they have to do when they go to find the Sorcerer's Stone that is in the book that is not in the movie.
Yeah.
I was very mad about it when it came out. I was like, that's not what's in the book.
I remember, even though everyone now, I feel like a lot of people say the third one is one of the better ones, but I remember being really mad at the third one because they cut out the part of the book I found the most interesting. I don't remember what that was. I just remember at the time being like, why didn't they keep that part in?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, it's harder. It's harder
Jurassic
to enjoy
Park.
a movie if you've.
That's my answer.
That's a great one.
Great
Adaptation's
That's
mine.
good.
adaptation.
Anyway, this is a great QNC. We got to
Yes.
move on.
Sorry. We could talk about we could have a whole podcast about this shit.
Yeah.
There probably is one.
I feel like if we had a Scott Pilgrim versus the World meter above Dan's head right now,
Yeah.
there would be a meter that was as closer you get to bedtime,
Yes.
the grumpier it gets.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like a graph.
So it's not you. It's not you, wonderful people who submitted your Q's and C's. It's Dan.
I also am. I like to be respectful, especially in Respect Listener Opinion Month, of Beth's editing time. Because
Because I also
for
listen
me,
to this
actually,
podcast.
every month is Respect Beth Month.
Nice.
Oh,
It's just like
wow.
where I operate from.
That's just
Wow.
your thing. That's your thing.
And I think, Molly, you missed it before, but I think all babies are priceless. My last name's a palindrome. Asks, one of the strengths of the comic is that it really shows how selfish and immature Scott is to the point that he
Yes.
is his own worst enemy. Do you feel
Yes.
that point is missing or softened in the movie? I think we talked about this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a better job than I was worried they were going to in making it clear that he sucks. Like, I feel like in the first 15 minutes, you're like, oh yeah, okay, the movie knows he sucks. Because I was worried it was just going to be like, oh, look at this weird indie boy. It's like, haha, isn't it funny? It's like, no, everyone's calling him out on being
Yeah.
full of shit.
And he's
which I
like stoked
appreciate.
about having a Chinese girlfriend in a weird racist way, but like just a little bit.
But
yeah.
it's honestly, I felt in a very accurate, like hipster 20-year-old in the 2000s way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, my last name is Belderman goes on to add, also, I love the visual language of the movie and would love to see more movies play with that style. I agree.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I
Have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I think especially now, like a lot of that was so hard to do during the time they were making this movie. It'd be so much easier now.
Carzon asks, if you've watched the recent anime adaptation with the same voice cast, which version of the story did you like better? I haven't
watched it. I'll probably watch it now because after watching this movie, I'm just like, oh, I wonder what that's like.
I thought the same thing. I didn't realize that it's the same cast
Yeah.
from the movie.
It apparently is like, it's very much just like a reflection of this movie. And I mean that not in a literal way, in like the literary way, right? Like it's sort of like this weird parallel. Like it's not quite the same story, but it's like all the cast or most of the cast came back to voice the characters.
Well, I wonder if it's able to go more in depth on the things that we were talking about because
Let's hope so.
It's a series of episodes rather than just a movie.
Yeah. So TBD on that answer, Carzon.
Yeah.
Yeah, DVD.
We're like TVD.
Hey,
Oh,
Very good.
respect.
very
Thank
good.
you.
Probably the best line of the night.
Yeah. Yep. Boodle Horse asks, in honor of...
Poodle horse.
Boodle Horse.
Nay.
In honor of Ramona, what fun color would you dye your hair?
Man, I was always so interested in the idea of dyeing my hair as a teen. And I was always so chicken shit about it because I was always just like, what if it's awful? Forgetting, of course, that, you know, the entire idea of dyeing hair is you can dye it again.
Mm-hmm.
I did bleach it once in one summer. That's the only time I actually colored it by not coloring it. It was 2001, 2000. It was very much a time where young men would bleach their hair and gel the shit out of it.
I go with purple. I'm going with purple.
Maybe go like, I don't know. I really like the blue when she had blue hair. I thought that was a cool color.
Yeah. One time I did a sketch where I had to wear a blue wig, and I was like, I actually like how this looks.
Nice.
Yeah, that looked great. Yeah, I tend to favor the like magentas and blues over greens and stuff. I remember there was a moment when I was in college that I was like, oh man, if I'm ever going to shave my head, it needs to happen now.
Yeah.
Because like I'm going to have to like go get a job and do other things. And I remember one of my roommates was like, don't do that. So see, I did listen sometimes.
Yeah.
I changed my answer. It's light purple.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow, Dan seems
Respect.
upset. Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Not
Great.
dark purple. Were you going to do dark purple?
Yeah, probably a darker one, but it's also okay if we have the same hair color with
I'm going
me.
to do light purple. Like the lilac color.
Guys, should we start a pop pump band so we can all dye our hair
Yes.
and be allowed?
Be allowed.
Let society allow 35-year-olds to have color in their hair?
Yeah, we got to wait till we're like 65. Then you can
think
start
so?
doing purple hair again.
Now you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not now? If not now, when?
Yeah.
65.
In 20
I guess.
years.
Not who, then if not you, then who?
What?
Be the hair you want to be.
That's right. Boodle Horse
Nice.
goes on to ask, favorite ex?
Favorite what?
Oh,
Ex.
favorite ex. Wow.
Ooh.
Todd's the one that pops to mind. Is he the vegan?
Oh, I thought you meant our own. I was like, well,
I did too, but I don't have a good
Well,
answer for that.
It's
So.
not clarified. So
So I guess either one you want to answer.
yeah.
Todd's your favorite MVX.
Yeah, right now in this moment. Yep.
I think I'll go with Roxy because I feel like Beth gave her short shrift
Oh wow.
for her line delivery.
Wow.
And also she was great.
wow. She was great.
I mean, mine is Chris Evans.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
A very respectable answer. He is delightful.
Thank you.
I would say everyone except the last one. The Jason
Sure.
Schwartzman one.
Yeah.
you're meant to really hate
Oh,
him,
he's
but
supposed to
not-
be awful.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, I
not
know.
really fun
And
like
he's-
the other. I mean, the other ones
he
are not
succeeds.
that fun.
Yeah,
but
right.
He is. He's a creep supreme for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
but I will say I enjoyed the Roxy fight where she finds him in the alley, and I enjoyed the first fight with Patel,
Matthew Patel.
Oh,
Matthew Patel.
yeah. That might actually be part of it because, like, as much as it's funny that girls must only fight girls, when Ramona and Roxy are fighting, that scene ripped. That was probably
Yeah.
the coolest fight in the whole movie.
She just pulls out like the biggest mallet you've ever seen.
So good.
So like,
It's like a
Looney
fucking
Tunes.
warhammer out of her purse.
Yeah. And we didn't
So
talk about
good.
the twins at all. The
Oh, they're great.
I think they.
I don't remember their name.
I feel like I don't remember either. I think they got significantly cut down. I feel like they have a more prominent place in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're mostly there for cool kaiju battle
Yeah.
fight,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
All right. Arkhammer asks, this movie has an absolutely stacked cast with some folks, Monsignor Sarah and Ruth, that have already been leads of major films and several that would blow up in the next decade. Who were
Yeah.
you most surprised to see in 2024? I was most surprised to see Brie Larson, who I feel like, I don't know. I didn't realize, like, it was like, oh, she did The Room, right? And that was like, and then was a Marvel lady.
Right.
And that's
then
like
you realize
my
she's been
conception
like
of her
a
as, like-
child actor since she was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the Vegan Police. I remembered. I forgot they
Tom
even showed
Dillon.
up at all as characters, but I was delighted that they were recognizable actors.
There's an actor. He's like the pretentious guy at the party that is the first person. I don't know his name, but he's in so many things.
Very
He's
familiar.
in Veep.
Yeah.
He's in The Office for a while, The American Office. Yeah, and so I was like, oh, he's in this too. He's all over the place.
Look at him go.
Yeah, I loved all of it. I agree with all those. I respect Beth's time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Since the first time I saw this movie, I have compulsively said grindy thingy anytime I need to use the word grind. I encourage you to do so also. It is very satisfying.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah. Also, since this movie does include some swords, I consider an ROM win for Scott Pilgrim to be a spiritual victory for Yojimbo.
Sure.
Oh. Yeah.
Tetsuka's really pushing for Yojimbo.
I didn't understand any of that, but thank you.
Jimbo's
Who's
a
Jim?
guy with a sword.
Who's Jim?
In
Who's
what?
Jim? Oh, Jim McCulkin.
Yeah.
In what?
He's their dad.
What? Okay.
Yojimbo is a Japanese movie by Kurosawa
Oh,
that
okay, got it.
was then inspired Fistful of Dollars.
Nice.
Okay,
Clint
great.
Eastwood movie. I was going to say it's interesting because Yojimbo was made because Kurosawa was inspired by westerns, spaghetti westerns,
Whoa.
and then the story of Yojimbo got put on a western with Clint Eastwood, one of the most famous ones. And then it also got retold again from a gangster perspective with Bruce Willis. I forget the name of that one.
Great.
He comes to town and pits two gangs against each other.
Bruce Willis?
Yojimbo and Bruce Willis and Clint Eastwood.
Okay, great. Real quick, shout out to the graphics people who put the word P on screen when Steven Stills gets a record deal.
Yeah.
And they just point to his pants with the word P in all capitals.
Great.
Fantastic.
Steven Stills is great. I've never seen that guy
He is
before.
great.
He
Yeah, he was
perfectly
great.
is indie band guy.
Totally.
He's doing great. Young Neil,
Great.
he's great when he sings the wrong words. Just
Oh.
a quick cut of him singing the wrong words to the song he's
Oh
probably
my
heard like
God.
1,000 times.
1,000 times. I
How
relate to
often
that
have you
so
done that where
hard.
you're like singing along and everybody's singing the song and then you sing it wrong and you're like,
So perfect. So perfect. Oh my God.
One thing so the actress who played Knife Chow is like a local Toronto actress.
Oh.
Have not seen her in a lot of other stuff. I forgot to look it up on Wikipedia, but
Maybe she's in a bunch of Canadian productions.
I know maybe she blew up too. You know.
Yeah. Or maybe everyone
Anyway.
thought her name was Knife and they forgot about her and Googled her wrong.
Yeah, it could be. Knife McCulkin.
that's
No.
Finally, the reference machine asks, probably too late, but what do you think happens to the people Scott kills? They turn into quarters. Well, not quarters, coins.
Coins.
240.
Just
Coins.
Yeah.
But they must go to the same place he did, right? He goes up to
maybe.
heaven.
Or something.
Does he?
yeah, it's like a desert.
Yeah. The
But
void
it's-
of loneliness.
Oh, I guess so.
Oh, man. Another shout out to, I assume, the props department for having to lay out a bunch of man-shaped coin piles at
Wow,
the end.
yeah.
That
I
was
was
so
really
cool.
appreciating that. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they weren't so spot on, you
No,
know?
they were like just enough it's like a chalk outline, except it's a pile of coins.
Yeah, it's really
Delightful.
fun. Yeah, I guess think of that
Uh,
desert place. I kind
maybe.
of this is an unsatisfying answer maybe, but I kind of like that it doesn't matter. This whole
Yeah.
movie I like having a real soft focus with it of just like, yeah, this is what we're doing. It's like not
Yeah.
a dream. It's not real. It's just in between everything.
Yeah, it's very casual about its like flexible reality. Like where she just says like, "Oh, you just happen to have a really convenient like subspace path through your head," or whatever the fuck she says when she's delivering packages and shows up in his dreams.
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah.
true. Maybe that's just a quip.
Oh, yeah. You know, that is such a nice, too. I hadn't really thought about at the beginning or towards the beginning of the movie where he just like every time he turns, he's in some other situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you just realize he's basically sleepwalking through life.
Yeah.
Like he just sort of finds himself following friends to a party and
Yes.
finds himself like at a record store and finds himself like it's so good. And at the end of the movie, of course, he's not doing that anymore. Well, anyway, you could probably find that out by looking on Wikipedia, but I just realized it. So you had that moment of realization with me potentially. What are there any other questions?
Nope.
Molly, I respect your journey.
Thank you, and I'm still embarrassed.
Well, no need to be embarrassed because we have this excellent rating scale that we get to next,
Oh, yes.
which is X McMania, which is a TV show in
Yes.
which the McCulkin family, who are a ordinary family from Iowa,
Yep.
present their ex-partners,
Yep.
and it's hosted by Macaulay McCulkin.
Yes.
I don't remember anything else. That's it?
I mean, it explains itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
we
it's
all know what it
executive
means.
produced by Worms McCockles and Stephen Biscuit, of course.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Steven Biscuit really put out the biscuit for this.
Yeah, he did.
Get Worm's name on there as an EP. You get
Yep.
some of the back end.
Boom.
That's why he's in the best in the biscuit.
That's why he's the best in the biscuit. Steve Biscuit. Great name. Fuck, I'm proud of it.
It's got real blah blah blah
Yep.
blah energy.
Sure does.
Steve Biscuit's biscuit.
Trademarked.
Blah blah blah. Habla español. Dan, you gave it a 4. I'm so sorry. I'm just like lost. I'm lost in my own thoughts. I'm like a real Scott Pilgrim.
You are. Real indie boy.
Yeah. You thought it would be fun and cool. Young people like it style.
Yeah, I think it took more time to remind us that Scott sucks than I thought, which I appreciated. It was still super cool, like the visual, all the set pieces were fun. Everybody fucking nailed it with whatever character they're doing. I do agree with Molly a little bit that it does get a little tedious in moments, probably because like the whole point of the movie is that it's actually just this boring dude's boring life that just happens to have kung fu fights in it. But I agreed with Ma that like there were certain points where it's like, oh well, we still got 3 more X's to go, I guess. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and I will stick with 4 X McMania.
You got it.
Executive produced by Worms McCockles.
Beth, you gave it a
Yes.
4. The first time you saw it, you were wowed. But the second time, I don't know.
Yeah. You know, I feel almost exactly the same way that Dan felt.
Whoa.
Like I think it's it was funnier than I remember it being. I was
Yes.
laughing a lot.
Yes.
It's just so quick, and there's like visual bits, and then there's like just like I don't know, the timing is perfect on everything. And then the visuals are very cool. But yeah, getting to the end, I was like, oh, there's more X's that and of course there's just parts of it that have not held up. So I'm gonna stick with 4.
Nice.
It's me, Dan. I also gave it a 4, and I felt the same way that Beth did,
Oh
and
my gosh.
in the first half, and now I do again. Who feels like
Oh.
I'm
Wow.
in agreement. It looks great. It's fun.
Wow.
There's some parts that are a little bit of a slog. It feels like it's somehow, I think in 2010, it would have felt really fresh and cool, and now feels
Yes.
a little tired, which is not the movie's fault because it's been 14 years since it came out. But there's still something about viewing now, like, oh yeah, I kind of get it, video game stuff, but I can also look
Right.
back and be like, oh, this is cool. So I'm going to stick with 4.
Wow.
Molly, you gave it a 2. And then you remembered to respect our listeners.
You did give us a teaser. You gave us a little teaser in the first half that there might be some respect coming their way.
Yes.
You think you wouldn't love it, but you love Michael Cera.
Yeah. And it turns out I loved the entire cast. And yeah, I was a much more receptive place to watch it this time than I was when it came out in theaters. And yeah, I had a blast through most of it, and some of it was a slog, but like, that's the movie's own fault for getting us used to some really cool things and then just doing a little bit too much of it, you know? So yeah, anyway, everyone in this movie is kind of my hero, and I had a great time, and I really respect our listeners. So I'm going to go 4.5.
Wow.
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 Yep.
What's a half in this case?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they started to film that last episode, and they just ran out of time, so they just didn't really get
Oh,
to
no.
one of the access. Yeah, they just ran out of time.
Biscuit comes in and just shuts the lights off.
We're over budget.
We're done. Let's go, Worms.
Worms.
And they ride off on jet skis together because I assume they're on the coast.
Yeah.
It's the finale. They got to be like on the beach or something, right?
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
I agree.
Yes, I agree.
His sleepiness meter has gone to 100%.
Power it down.
Yeah.
He's been asleep on and off for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I got up at 6:30 this morning to go play pickleball.
Man, you got to min-max. You got to min-max your points better.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds like good advice.
That is the teen calling card right there. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like good advice. And so I'm going to ignore it. Am I right? Parents?
Yep.
This is me trying to relate to you.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Min-maxing is when you get really into the weeds on stats and stuff. Like if you have your character and you in a video game or an RPG and you really want to craft it just to optimize a certain outcome, combat or something.
Yeah.
Like Gideon probably min-maxed that katana sword that he has at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Which does provide, I did appreciate that it provided stats whenever they pulled out a sword.
Yep.
Yep. It's funny to me because every time I see, like, if anyone in our house is playing a video game and scrolling through, I like to think about it as like somebody had to write the name of every one of those weapons.
Right?
And decide how this one weapon is slightly different. And some economist had to figure out the game economy.
Yeah.
And there's so much that went into this thing that, let's just say, my husband is just ticking through.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I feel the same way. There's games that always have like extra world stuff, like you pick up a book and you can read a little bit about it, or you can look on a computer screen and stuff, and it makes for a cool experience. But it's always like, I don't care about this. I don't play the game. But there was like a legit writer had to write it. Like they did writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most people are just like, fuck it.
I don't care.
I just need to open this note so that the game knows later that I have this information and I can get the right dialogue choice.
Yeah. They should really, out of respect for the writers, they should really make it so that you can only 100% a game if you read every piece of environmental storytelling.
There's like
available.
a reading comprehension test at the very end of the game that you have to pass.
Yes. We respect you, listeners. And we respect Dan because we know he has a firm bedtime.
And it's exhausting.
I go screens off at 9:30 on a normal night. This is a nightmare.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan DeQuette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.